Sorry about the music. I've got my son in my other arm, so his mum's in the bath at the minute. But I just wanted to do a quick one because, sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. But as you can see, it's the biggest. Son, please stop bouncing about. It's the biggest spawn I've had off of these so far, which is quite handy. I only bothered taking the divider out to breed these again because due to popular demand. But basically, there's a couple of things I wanted to cover with it. What I'm trying to do is put these into the hobby for, you know what I mean, a realistic price, because you've got loads of people who talk about conservation of cichlids and wanting, do you know what I mean, never to be things like Ramsden Eye and all that. And if loads of people had them in the hobby, there might still be some around today. But due to people being greedy who are breeding the fish and asking ridiculous money for them, it puts it out of a lot of people's price range. So I mean, think about it. If you're being charged £35 from a shop for one of these at an inch long, right, and you need, say, 10 of them to guarantee a pair, and they still don't guarantee it with Beani because of their aggression towards each other, but you know what I mean, you're paying £350 basically just to get 10 fished in the hope of getting one pair out of them. And but at the end of the day, I get it, the shops have to charge what they do because you've got the breeders who are being very greedy. Instead of seeing it as like a hobby or something they love to do, they're seeing it more as thinking they're going to get rich out of breeding a few fish. But don't get me wrong, yeah, I mean, it is nice to have things that other people don't have, but again, that comes down to your own insecurities, where, you know what I mean, that's all you've got, so you don't want anyone else to have it unless it's at the right price. But like I said, obviously my reasons in the hobby are different for other people, so mine isn't to make money out of them. The amount I charge for these in the shops is minimal. I literally just swap for dry goods, like food and other bits and bobs that I need, sand or whatever, your biomedia, stuff like that. But yeah, then it comes back to what it is when people find out that you're selling them at a fraction of the price that they are. You know what I mean? It's a very funny, weird, like close-knit community in the UK with cichlids, where it seems like, unless like you're one of them that's into noshing each other off, you know what I mean, it's like they think like they're the cichlid gatekeepers, so to speak, and try and make out as though that it's some big hard, you know what I mean, it's a big hard thing to breed fish like Beani and all that. Listen, at the end of the day, you give them decent water, give them decent food, yeah, and keep an eye on them when they spawn, yeah, and literally there's nothing to it, literally nothing to it. All you need to make sure is you've got a very mature tank, so there's not ever going to be like spikes or anything. But I used to use Purigen on these, just in case the risk of like a nitrite spike or anything from the sand being disturbed. But I've stopped putting that on there now. All I've got in there is a reactor with biomedia in it, plus a shit ton of other biomedia. It's all good quality stuff. But and I've got a UV. EIM UV sterilizer on there, just because these are prone to intestinal parasites, and I do feed them a lot of live food when I'm getting them ready to spawn. I feed the female tons of earthworms. The male gets some as well because he's just a greedy bastard, so he basically gets more than her share. But the only thing I won't give them is things like bloodworm. There's actually a person, like I said in one of my earlier videos, there's a video on YouTube from a university in Mexico, where I asked the person if they could put it in, do English subtitles for it, which they did, and I got talking to them, and even they said it's not so much they can't deal with protein, it's animal proteins, as in like what would be in their diet. So a lot of the time when you're getting a lot of these things like I don't know, things like a lot of the higher protein pellets and all that, they're not always from the best sources, the protein, unless you're getting things like Northin or New Life Spectrum or one of them. But I do give them that, but I give them literally all different, every single day they have something different. But I've got all different pellets, from your standard run-of-the-mill Hikari Golds, and either, I know a lot of people don't like them, but Tetra sticks. just because of the fact they're not as high in protein. Well, they don't seem to be as compared to some of the others. So when I give them earthworms, I like to balance it out. A lot of the time what I give them actually is the Kari marine flakes, just because they're full of seaweed and like other greens that help with their digestion. But yeah, like I said, sorry for the music in the background, but it's literally constantly on YouTube is these baby sensory things and these mad things. Sorry, my kid's only 7-month-old at the minute. But yeah, these ain't too bad on each other. Normally what happens is they're fine until obviously if the female's not ready to spawn, the male's a complete wanker. And but as long as she's doing what he wants, there's not actually too much aggression between them. She was the one actually driving him mental last night, trying to get him to spawn. But yeah, there's got to be a good 1,000 eggs on there, easily. But a lot of these are going to be going out. Well, going to be getting grown out. So if I grow out 400, only 100 of them, I'd literally, when they get to about 1.5 inches, then I'll start selecting the best ones, and the rest of them become food. But yeah, so basically, I don't understand it. You can see you're into, you know what I mean, conservation of cichlids, but yet you want to make them so, you know what I mean, out of the reach of 99% of the public, that they're so scarce in the hobby. And I know people like the thing of, oh, keep them rare and all that, but at the end of the day, you can't then say that your best interest, you know what I mean, your heart is where the best interest, you know what I mean, where the best interest lies for the fish. Because I mean, most people who breed them are totally aware of the breeding captive release programs, where they'll take really endangered fish, breed them in universities, and then release them in hope of re-establishing colonies in the wild. But yeah, they have to get them from somewhere. So if they do end up out of the hobby, then you're going to have problems. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I think if you're truly into conservation, you should want as many of all the fish that are quite sought after and hard to keep, hard to get. You'd want as many of them in the hobby as possible. I know it makes you feel special thinking you're the only one with them, but at the end of the day, then that's selfish reasons as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, all of these fish, like I said, now where there's different avenues now, it's not just relying on someone in England getting a quota order. What a lot of people are doing now is quota are dealing with Germany, and people are just importing them from Germany to England. But yeah, the Germans are a lot more proficient, do you know what I mean, than the Brits, to be fair, when it comes down to fish keeping. But that's them as a people, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Even with their engineering, everything, you can't really beat them. Oh, sorry, this glare off the TV on this 4x2. I'm going to have to cut it short because I've got my son in the other arm and I can't stand back up. But cheers.